my goodness, it's Sunday night.
It's Sunday night.
Literally. So that means it's Sunday night service. I'm Dani.
And I'm Dr. Motley.
And he literally just flew over this couch,
I
sat down at 7:29. We're 30 minutes late for this tonight, but you were on an airplane just now.
I was on an airplane. I got back from Kansas City, was doing an acupuncture class, an acupuncture series. And so we had to do so many hours. And so I was doing that. And so I literally flew in and I was telling Dani, and I took the wrong road, and I was planning to be here a little earlier.
I told him, I said, meet me at the office. You guys, as soon as you get on, hit your buttons, hit your heart buttons, your like buttons, tell us where you're from. I told him, I said, to make it easier so we can meet at 7:15 instead of 7:30, meet me at the office, and that way you don't have to go to the house. He texts me almost from my house. He drove straight to my house because he's used to doing that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why we're 30 minutes late.
Sorry about that, guys.
He came straight from the airport just for you all.
I did. I just, right when we landed, texted Dani. I was like, I'm getting on the road. I'm going to get there as soon as I can. So
we are talking Lyme disease part 2 tonight. And I'm going to tell you, many of you all know that this week I diagnosed a woman with alpha-gal. I've got her labs here. I cut her name off and all. But I shared that on Instagram and Facebook, but on the Dani Williamson Wellness Instagram, and it caused all kinds of people talking because it's so misdiagnosed. I mean, there's so many people don't get checked. So if you did not see part 1 of Lyme disease, part 1, you need to go back and watch that video because it's an hour long of all the statistics and the different kinds of co-infections and all of that are out there. And Motley shared his story. We know Dr. Motley's Lyme disease story. So you have to watch that as well. But if you're new tonight, come on. Well, you can go ahead and watch tonight and then go back and watch that. But anyway, so as you get logged on, I see you guys on here. Hello from northern Minnesota. Oh my goodness. In northern Minnesota, there's all kinds of Lyme disease. I hear that Minnesota is a state that's definitely on the rise. In fact, I think I highlighted that.
Yeah, it's one of the main states.
Yeah, I think it is too. Last time, let me go back. Well, I wasn't. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to get started here with symptoms, right? Even though we talked about a few of these last time. I'm sorry. You know, fatigue, right?
Yes.
Chills, joint pain.
Joint pain. You'll have many of the same signs and symptoms as if you had a really bad flu or a cold without some of the sore throat and some of the runny nose, but you will come in with quite a bit of pain and head fog and joint pain. And because the system, the way the spirochetes work, is that they literally can tear apart your red blood cells, and they can, the co-infections like Babesia or Bartonella, they have been known to rupture or damage the red blood cells, which allows the hemoglobin. Remember, hemoglobin is just these little wires. They're like little heme, they attach to heme or iron, so it can spill out into the blood, and so your iron count can go low, and you need iron to carry your oxygen. That coinciding with you not being able to carry oxygen and produce energy, which is Krebs cycle, so you have extreme fatigue. And so you'll notice that patients with Lyme infection, especially where they get the infection, if you had it in your head, if you had it in a shoulder joint, if you've had it in the spine, because many people have been diagnosed with it in certain areas, you'll find that the area actually gets very damaged and gets very weak. So they'll have areas of chronic fatigue before sometimes they get a global effect of fatigue. So it is not uncommon to find people that have like fatigue in a joint. Before they come in and they've been fully diagnosed, they go, I noticed that my hip was always hurting me. No matter how much therapy I got or how much my hip would always hurt or my ankle would always hurt. And
Isn't that something?
Yes. Oh
my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So about the CDC says that about 30% of the Lyme patients develop symptoms of arthritis.
Yes.
Okay. Of course, the bullseye rash, that is a symptom, but not everybody gets a bullseye rash. And not everyone knows that they've been bitten by a tick either.
Oh, many people. Is that how it is with you too? A lot of people that come in, they don't even know they don't know.
They don't know. They don't know. Something like 60, 70% of people never know, right? That they've been bitten. Let's see here. Later symptoms. These can happen days to months after a tick bite. Severe headaches, neck stiffness, like what you talked about. Like you had to wear a neck brace because you could not hold your neck up, hold your head up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. Pain at the bottom of the feet.
We
talked about this, yes, and that is extremely. Did you say? I can't remember which tick-borne illness it was. That's really, is it Rocky Mountain spotted fever? That's really pain at the bottom of the feet. Is really prevalent. I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay, large joints like the knees, the shoulders, the elbows hurting bad. Facial palsy. So a Bell's palsy, you should always think tick-borne illness.
Yes.
Quite possibly. That should be on your list of differentials, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, maybe I have a Lyme disease. Bell's palsy. Isn't that something?
It is.
Anytime you have a Bell's palsy, think tick-borne illness.
Completely.
Tendon pain, muscle, joints, bones, heart palpitations, irregular heartbeats,
yes,
right?
Yes.
You talked about
I had that a lot.
Lyme carditis, right? Dizziness, shortness of breath, inflammation in the brain, foggy headedness, inflammation in the spinal cord, nerve pain, shooting pain, numbness, tingling in the hands and feet, right?
Numbness and tingling. And when you have numbness and tingling, we were talking about joints, is that the spirochete, the Borrelia, is, after its name, it bores. It has a corkscrew type shape.
Yes.
So like a wine cork stopper, or, when you uncork a wine bottle, it does the same thing. So it can get into the soft tissue matter of the ligaments. We talk about arthritis.
Yes.
So if it gets into the knees or into the white matter or even into the brainstem, and they say that in the spine, they can get inside and then they release toxins. And the inflammation they create is your body will start to notice the toxin and it will call for backup. It'll be like, come on, immune system. Immune system will come, and what does your body do? Produce inflammation and help get rid of it.
That's right.
And that's where
this is when inflammation is a good thing, short term, because that's what it does, is gets rid of whatever's going on there. Problems with short-term memory, right? And we talked about Chris Christopherson a couple of weeks ago, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
That's
and come to find out it was Lyme disease. And he was treated by Dr. Philaday in California, who's a really famous functional medicine doctor that I share 2 patients with. I have 2 patients here in Middle Tennessee who see Dr. Philaday as well. So we go back and forth. I don't know Dr. Philaday. I've never met the man, but we communicate back and forth via fax and all that with lab results and stuff. So, but he treats Chris Christopherson. He's the one who found the Lyme disease in him. And, I worry about that with my mom, and I had her treated 10 days of doxy. That's what I could get in Marshall County. So that's what we did. But they actually are going to check her hopefully Friday. We're going to actually have a Lyme test done. Yeah, we've got a lab order put in. 71, let's see, what does this say? 71% of Alzheimer's patients show Lyme spirochetes in the brain after they've died. 71% of Alzheimer's patients.
And the way that they can get into the brain and release as much toxin. Think about it this way, guys. Whenever you have inflammation, Dani and I talked a lot about leaky gut. Let's put this for instance. If you had Lyme along with leaky gut, let's say this, or something gets into your blood. Think about it as things go up to through your blood and get up to the blood-brain barrier, whether it's a spirochete or a food particle like gluten. What happens is you have a filter, the blood-brain barrier, and so these things get up to there, and what happens if they get stuck in the filter? Your body will release inflammation, bring inflammation-type sources up there, or particles up there, molecules. And eventually, if that thing is in the filter for too long, it'll burn a hole from the inflammation into the blood-brain barrier. So they say that, like, when you eat gluten or eat corn and things like that, we're
that's
changing the subject, but you can have an infection that gets through the blood-brain barrier, gets into your tissue, settles in, and that's why people go, I have such crazy brain fog. And when they say they find it in the brain, they're not big. They're very small.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to sound too scary, but it can, like, if you ever have times if you experience Lyme or think you may have some Lyme experience or symptoms, patients will come in and go, man, I was trying to think about something, and then when I thought really hard, then all this stuff, the brain fog kicked in. Why? Because you're getting your metabolic juices flowing and stuff in your brain, and it moves around. So go ahead.
Isn't that something? Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it's fascinating to me. Alpha-gal. So what?
Oh my goodness.
Alpha-gal. Okay. So Alpha-gal. If you didn't see my post this week earlier on Dani Williamson Wellness here, Inside Out Healing from Within, and Instagram, the same thing, Dani Williamson Wellness, you need to read that post and you need to read what people wrote about it. I had a new patient, 60, how old is she? 64 years old. She came to me 3 weeks ago. I just got all her labs back. Brain fog, joint pain, all kinds of things. Moved here from the Northeast, actually from like Connecticut area, but she felt fine before she came here.
Oh man.
She has been bitten by 7 ticks this year. In 2019 alone, she's been bitten by 7 ticks. Her primary care provider told her here in Middle Tennessee, there's no such thing as Lyme disease in Middle Tennessee.
Really?
Now, this is in her chart because I went back because I didn't remember her off the top of my head when I was reviewing the labs. And I got these positive labs. You can't see who she is because the name's cut off. These are positive alpha-gal labs. So I checked her for alpha-gal, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, as well as Lyme disease, okay? But she told me her joints hurt. She's foggy-headed. She doesn't feel good at all. She's had all these tick bites, and yet everybody her doctors tell her, we don't have Lyme disease in Middle Tennessee. There's no such thing as tick-borne illness in Middle Tennessee. Now, she comes to me for all the pain and all that. Well, I don't treat Lyme disease, but I do check it, right? And so she has a positive alpha-gal. Alpha-gal is the tick-borne illness from the Lone Star tick, okay? It has the white spot on the back of it. And when I called her on the way to Kentucky on Friday, I called her with her results, and I was telling her about the tick. I said, the tick has a white dot on its back. She goes, I've had 4 tick bites by those. Oh, man,
are you kidding
4.
me?
So I didn't know this. This wasn't in her chart because I didn't ask her that. And because I was hoping it wasn't positive. She goes, I've had 4 of those in 2019. 4. So she has, quadruple bitten. Now, I don't know if all 4 had alpha-gal in them, right? But alpha-gal is a sugar molecule, okay, that's found in mammals, except it's not in people, okay? It's not in people, apes, and monkeys. So we don't have to worry about apes, monkeys, or people, but it is in ticks, okay, and deer and things like that. It's usually not in fish either, okay? And once you're bitten by that Lone Star tick and they put their teeth into you, they release that sugar molecule and it creates a reaction and an allergy to beef, pork, lamb, mammals, okay, mammals. Because remember, this is a sugar molecule that's in mammals, and you therefore are allergic. Her IgE is, look how high that is. So it should be less than 0.10. Hers is 6.88. So that's like, I don't know, 6,000 times or something more than it should be, 0.10. Lamb, she was okay on. Pork, she's elevated on as well. She has 2 bands positive for Lyme disease. Now, it takes 5 by the CDC to be positive, but I don't trust this. So she has 0 positive for a new infection, but 2 for an old infection. I immediately referred her to Dan Kalb. I said, I'm not, and rickettsia is negative here. But this woman right here was told, we have no Lyme disease. It is infuriating to me. And so, what do you do about it? Well, you cut out all mammals, right? No beef, no hot dogs, no pork, no lamb. No lamb, none of that. And your supplements, right?
You do. You have to be careful.
Vitamin D generally has lanolin in it.
Yes.
Right? I about killed a woman. I didn't nearly kill her, but I got her sick. She had a reaction. I gave her her vitamin D drops. All right, just like that. I didn't give them to her, but I sold them to her. Damn. She called here. Well, anyway, come to find out, the lanolin in it was from sheep's wool, and she reacted to it. But Pure Encapsulations makes a vegan D3.
Gotcha.
It's not cheap. It's $30 for this vegan D3, but it's 1,000 international units of D3 per drop. Per drop. So it's high dose. It'll last you. I can't read that. You're younger than me. How many things are in there? How many drops are in there?
25 milligrams.
So it should tell you how many drops. I think there's I don't know how many drops are in there, but servings is
100 drops.
100. So there's 100 servings in there. So you can get a vegan. So when you have alpha-gal, you have to look at your supplements. My fish oil, which I have taken this fish oil for years myself, has gelatin in it. Yeah. Okay. So it's not that my fish oil is bad. It's just that it is bad for you if you have alpha-gal.
That's right.
You can't eat it. Right? You can't take it. So you have to look at your supplements, right? You have to look at your food. You have to look at your makeup, your chapstick.
because they all have mammal products.
That's
when
exactly
when
right.
I had Lyme really badly, I think I hope I'm not repeating myself, but if I am, it's
We
okay.
are. It's okay.
When I would get up every morning, this is before me and Dani really hung out, but I remember that I would.
We don't hang out enough.
We will. It's always great.
We're so busy.
We had when I got up, I would do the routine of having great, like coconut milk with avocado and different things like that. And then when I go eat, I would have beef and everything paleo. I would not cheat on it.
Yeah.
Now I found that I was having headaches, guys, and I would feel really distended. Well, time went on and I was doing methylation. I was feeling better, but I still had some headaches. Point in case, me and Dani started hanging out, and Dani goes, "You need to get you a food sensitivity test."
Sure enough, guys, I'm a big believer in that.
Sure enough, I found beef, avocado, tuna. I couldn't do tuna, salmon. I could do pork.
Which has nothing to do with the alpha-gal, by the way, the tuna and salmon.
It doesn't. No. I have a weak gallbladder, but then I couldn't do beef, and I still can do lamb, but I couldn't do certain types of chicken. I couldn't do chicken that much. And I noticed that every time I ate it, I had the worst headache, and I would have a reaction.
That's right.
And I stopped eating it, and all my headaches went away.
So what are your symptoms when you have alpha-gal? Very similar to when you have allergies, food allergies, right? Severe stomach pain. Severe stomach pain. And you went through this. Nausea, vomiting, dizziness, fainting, a drop in blood pressure, difficulty breathing, because these are allergic IgE reactions, anaphylaxis reactions, right? Hives, full body hives, a rash. And the problem with this is the first time that you eat that burger at the cookout after being bitten, usually you don't have a reaction. Maybe you just don't feel good. You're like, well, it's the gluten. I ate a bun and it's the gluten. But it's really, it is the gluten is a problem, but it generally doesn't cause all this unless you have celiac disease. But it's the more you're exposed to it, the worse the reactions get. And that's when you end up in the emergency room with an anaphylactic reaction, EpiPen, Benadryl, all the things to stop your throat from closing.
Yes. And I noticed
so
that with
pay
patients,
attention.
you do, patients that come in with Lyme infection, because the one thing I try to literally avoid, me and Dani talk about this, Dani's had her health concerns, her journey in health, I've had mine. And one thing as a practitioner, we don't want to go, quote, looking for something because we had it, but we're more sensitive to it because we know what the symptoms are. And there are times patients have come in and they have that, and then I first check them in my style with kinesiology, trying to check what sensitivities they have. And I tell them, I can tell you what you have, but you probably need to go get a food sensitivity blood test to check it out. And many times people will show with beef, pork, lamb, and eggs. Even eggs.
Eggs. I know, which is weird because those chickens don't have hooves.
I know.
They're not mammals. Crazy. I know. So most cases of alpha-gal have been reported in the southeastern and the midwestern United States, okay? Both children and adults can develop alpha-gal, but as a rule, the majority appear to be in people greater than 50 years of age. And the lady that I'm dealing with is 64 years old, right? Yeah. So, what are you going to do about it? Well, same way you're going to prevent every other tick-borne illness, right? You're going to do tick checks, and you're going to, before you go outside, you're going to, if you wear white, that's good because ticks, you can see a tick if it's on white. Yeah. Now, when you come inside, right, check yourself for ticks, take a shower. Where do ticks like to hide? Ticks hide in the nape. Woo, look at that.
Look at your hair looking good, girl.
That looks good. Ticks hide right here on the neck, the nape of the neck, right? They like it behind the ears. They get in this mess of hair as well, right? Armpits, waistband, behind the knees, the groin area. That's where Jackson had ehrlichiosis. They love the testicles.
Here we go. They do.
There you go. We can turn it around to anything it can become with a private part.
You're about to say orifice. That's what you're going to say. Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. A thorough tick check in all orifices. Okay. Seriously. All right. If you see an attached tick, remove it immediately. Remember the tick twisters we had 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, the tick twisters.
Tick twisters. Tick twisters is the tongue twister. Pull the tick straight up. Okay. Pull the tick straight up. And we talked all about on there, right? If the tick has been on you less than 36 hours. It says it's uncommon for Lyme for you to get Lyme disease if the tick has been on you for less than 36 hours.
Gotcha.
Usually they don't suck on for a while.
They don't stay
but
on there for
once
a while.
they get on, if a tick is walking on you, you're not going to get Lyme disease because they have to put their suckers inside the skin and have a blood bath.
They have a blood bath.
A blood feast.
A blood feast.
A blood feast.
Because when they latch in to the skin, they have in their salivary glands, their form of it, they have a anticoagulant. So when they regurgitate into the skin to loosen up the skin and keep the blood from clotting, that's where the Lyme will transfer. Because they pull this stuff up from their gut, and when they bite, they push it into you, and that's where the Lyme flows right in. And I know we talked about last week, but the infections are very smart, and they say that 36 hours, the time frame, is a way that the infections can monitor what the host pH is, what the blood type is, to actually adjust their DNA so they can handle and live within the host. And that's why that huge rash comes up on the skin, because it's a fight, but they put a lot in there to keep it anticoagulated, keep the clots from forming. They want to keep allowing, the suction and allowing the stuff to spread.
Isn't that amazing? And they said don't light it with a match. You always heard that, light it. Don't put alcohol on it, anything like that, because if you piss off the tick, they're going to release even more.
Wow. I didn't know about alcohol. What?
Yes, that's what it said. Now clean it with alcohol afterwards, but don't put don't piss off the tick. Because when you do that, when you light it on fire, which is never good, especially if it's down in the testicle area.
Stop. Jackson, don't do that.
When you light it on fire, it's going to get mad, and it's going to release even more venom, basically, in there. Or
it is venom, guys.
It is.
That's what it is.
It's exactly what it is.
So keep going. Don't light matches.
Don't light matches, period. But for sure, if it's in your private parts, don't do that. All right. So keep your yard clean. All those things. Now, what about DEET? What do you think about DEET? Deep woods off. Well, I don't have any over here. I have it because I grabbed it from my dad's, actually. I didn't have it at my house, but I grabbed it from Dad. Sorry, Dad, if you're watching. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I think about DEET, and it may not be what you all think. Mm-hmm. I think if you are trying to prevent, if you're on a mission trip and you're trying to prevent malaria, right, or you're out in the woods really camping for days, I'm okay with some DEET, personally. If your immune system is healthy, right?
That's exactly
If your immune system is healthy, dang, I'd rather spray some DEET on my clothes and around my ankles and around, and I realize what you put on your body, you put in your body within 26 seconds flat. But I am okay with a little bit of DEET. And the CDC has an amazing handout. Now, you all may not agree with me, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you've ever seen a sick Lyme disease patient, then, it's a little bit of deep woods off or whatever it is you have. Now, what it does say here, which I thought was great, and I don't know where in the world it is, if it's more than 50% or whatever it says, I guess DEET products are designed from 4 to 100%. If it's more than 50%, it's the same. You don't need to go more than 50%. Strength. It's totally the same. So you can use a lower dose and still be completely protective. Yes, it could cause skin rashes. It could. Some people have got a reaction to DEET, but most people do not. Oh yeah, right here. Concentrations over 50% provide no added protection. So you don't have to buy.
Yeah.
And this comes straight from the CDC. Now, again, I'm not a huge fan of all of them, but you can use it on children even as young as 2 months, 2 months and above. You don't want a baby with Lyme disease. If you're going to have a baby camping with you, then you need to take the proper care.
Yeah.
Now, you can use essential oils as well, right? We know that clove oil and cinnamon oil and things like that.
TerraShield's good.
TerraShield's
a really good
TerraShield is excellent. Thieves oil is excellent. But if you are really in the deep woods and all, I would pull out all stops. Now, that's my own personal opinion. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. But that's, for me and my family, that's what I do. Jackson had ehrlichiosis, and I dang near, he was so sick. I thought he was going to die.
Yeah, I think about it this way. Like you talk about with Jackson. When I was young and I got bit up by those ticks, I thought, what if I had taken just some off or something and sprayed it on me and kept them all off of me?
Right.
It's right. If your liver is strong enough,
yes,
and your detoxification pathways are clear, you could put DEET on and it will flush through. Some people do have sensitivities to it, but it just means they may not be able to process it through the liver. But if you have a strong enough immune system and you are going out for a day or two out in the woods, I would rather see somebody spray something on, whether it be DEET, TerraShield, or essential oils or whatever, to keep stuff off them. I have some patients that do lawn care. You know what they do?
Yes.
They'll take Listerine.
Oh.
They'll take Listerine in a bottle and water it down a little bit, and they shake it up, and they say, spray it all over legs. I said, it works just as good as DEET.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. If it works just as good, I wonder what it is. Now, there's different colors of Listerine, and the blue, no joke, the blue, and I can't remember this because I didn't know you were going to say this, but the blue is good for something specific, and I can't remember what it is. I wonder... blue is terrible. Why in the world would you gargle blue Listerine? But it's got something in it other than blue number 40 or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. Jeannie Davis said, DEET wires me and makes my heart race. Yes, if that happens, you don't need it.
That's exactly right. And some people have. I've never had a reaction to it. When I'm up there working at my mom's right now, who lives in the middle of 19 acres, and there are ticks all around her door. There are ticks everywhere. I found stuff in her garage. I sprayed things out in the yard. I mean, I don't care because I'm doing a lot of work out there.
That's right. And you can't afford to get sick either.
And I took my dad's deep woods off and I sprayed it on my pants and I sprayed it, and I had that one tick crawling, but it did not attach.
That's right. That's good. And how's your mom doing, by the way? She doing okay?
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
I know. I just want to make sure. Okay. Anyway,
yep. She's a lot stronger. Okay, testing. How do we test for this? Well, you find somebody who knows to check a Western blot or an immunoblot. Yep. Okay. So what the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, currently recommends a 2-step process, which I don't do. But anyway, I don't listen to them. But when testing blood for evidence of antibodies, okay, the first step is using a procedure called an EIA, an enzyme immunoassay, right? If that's negative, then they say no further testing is needed. Well, I call BS on that one. Yeah. If the first step is positive or interdeterminate, right, so equivocal, the second step should be performed, and that is the immunoblot. That's what I ran on this lady, which has 10 bands of IgEs and then IgGs, and then IgMs, 3 new infection bands. And if that's positive, so it says results are considered positive only if the EIA and the IFA are both, and the immunoblot are both positive. Well, I don't find that correct.
I don't either.
So 2 steps of the disease testing are designed to be done together. So, and what the immunoblot does is it's a test that looks at the antibodies that the body makes against different molecules or antigens that are a part of the Lyme disease family, right? Okay. It does not look at co-infections. Okay. It does not look at Rocky Mountain spotted fever, erlichiosis, what else? Babesia, Bartonella, all of that. It doesn't look at that. It's only Borrelia burgdorferi, okay? Immunoblot test for Lyme disease testing can detect 2 different classes of antibodies, and we talked about that. IgMs, new infections, IgG, old infections. Okay. IgMs are sooner. So that's usually 8 to 10 weeks. You've been bitten right within 8 to 10 weeks. It's a new infection. And then it will actually convert over to an IgG, an old infection. Okay. I remember that by IgM, meet, IgG, greet. Meet, brand new person. Hi, I'm Dani Williamson. It's brand new. I've heard a lot about you. That's how I'm pretty smart, but I have to remember things like weird ways. So IgMs are meet and greet. IgMs are meet. It's a brand new person, brand new infection. Nice to meet you. Or not.
My word,
IgG, well, crap, there they are again. That's how I remember.
Here we go again.
Old infection, new infection. It can take 4 to 6 weeks for the body to produce large enough quantities of the antibodies for the test to detect it. Okay, so if you get bitten today and you go in Monday, today's Sunday, you go in Monday, you're not going to have anything in your system.
No.
Okay, it's not going to need. So you have to have 5 bands positive on an IgG for the CDC to say it's positive.
Yes.
Now, Dr. Horowitz, who's the Lyme guru in the United States, says if you have any of them positive, and you've got a positive alpha-gal, or you've got a positive Rocky Mountain, or you go whatever, trust me, you have Lyme disease.
Yes. You cannot discount the effect of one strand, because in many of the test kits that we use at the office, you could have anywhere up to 20 to 30 different types of Borrelia and Babesia and Bartonella. Now that is we're saying on a positive note, this is what we're saying. If you had one or two out of that Western blot test show up, you don't know how much, like if it's that high that the antibodies are now showing,
that's right.
That means it's a lot in your system. And you can't do like, well, you need more than two. I'm like, no, I've had patients that have come in, you have two. I've had patients come in with one. Yeah. But all the symptoms of that one that come in, and we had to kill it off. And then after that, it's done so much damage to the gut, then we have to make sure we clean up the gut after that.
That's right.
So please don't be discouraged. If you find one or two, they like to hide. They are tricky. They like to get in the joints. They like to get between the cells.
They are boogers.
They are. And
they burrow down. They
get in there.
Screw in.
And if you keep having symptoms, even if they say, well, I got one of these, just keep going and keep
I have 4.
Yeah.
I do. But I don't have any symptoms of Lyme disease.
You eat so well and you take care of yourself and take great supplements. Her immune system is.
I think it's pretty good, but But I do have 4 positive, because I called Dr. Dan Kalb immediately. I was like, what the heck? He said, well, Dani.
What did he say?
Well, he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I don't know. I feel fine. Well, I feel good. My joints don't hurt. I've never had a migraine headache a day in my life. I have lupus. So I don't know. And there's also all kinds of theories on Epstein-Barr. I've had that twice. Can all mimic Lyme. There's all kinds of theories out there. So who knows? I've probably got all kinds of stuff, but I do have a pretty healthy immune system.
Yes, even with, we talk about Lyme or Epstein-Barr, cytomegalovirus, any virus is bacteria, mold, guys.
Mold.
But Dani's working on it. Remember when she tells you, like, we'll do a probiotic, she does great fish oil, she does vitamin D. The things that she's doing is enforcing her liver. And when she gets her liver strong and healthy, it increases her immune system. So you could have signs.
My liver is healthy. It's extremely healthy. I drink wine with you, but I don't drink wine every night. Probably 2 or 3 nights a week I'll have some wine, maybe. Yeah. I just went 4 weeks with no wine because I was so stressed out with my mom. No, 3 weeks. I went 3 weeks. And so, yeah, I do have a pretty healthy liver. But now listen, so there's other testing as well, because this testing is not perfect that you'll get through Quest or LabCorp or Path Group or AEL, the immunoblot. That's what you want to ask your doctor for, an immunoblot. Just forget the beginning test. But then we have direct microscopy testing, right? IGeneX.
Yeah.
Okay, so IGeneX. Do you use IGeneX?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's Fry specialty testing. And I don't know much about Fry.
I don't know much about Fry.
Our buddy Josh Axe, he likes Fry specialty testing, but I don't know anything about them. But IGeneX, I don't test with IGeneX here because, again, I stay in my lane, which is gut, adrenals, thyroid, and hormones. I test the basic here that I can, and then I get you to a Lyme literate doctor.
Yeah.
But talk about IGeneX, because it's the gold standard, in my opinion.
It is. Like Western blot test, they say they will test for 5 different strands. IGeneX will go in and go a bit further. Let's just say this, like with the antibodies, she was just talking about the IgM and the IgGs. IGeneX goes in and tests for specific types of proteins as well. Yes. So it tests not only for like the 5, it'll test for dozens of different types of bacteria, like the spirochete or the protozoa, which is Babesia. So what they do is they try to find out if there's any proteins left in the blood from an immune response. I know we don't want to get too technical, but it's not just testing a few, it's testing a lot. And they'll even but they'll actually test for mold as well, and they actually test for different types of parasites. So
maybe I should be doing that.
It's not a bad.
I know, but I don't treat mold, and I don't treat. I do treat parasites and all with biocidin and all the things that biocidin. But it's an amazing test. It's a cash pay only. They don't take any insurance.
They don't.
$300, $400, $500. It depends. You can add on all kinds of stuff.
But the thing is, guys, is that when we talk about it, if you found out that you had so many infections, we don't want to go, you have crazy infections. But it does give you peace of mind. You go, oh, I have this in my body.
There's a reason I don't feel well.
Exactly.
And I tell patients every day, I hand their labs to them or their adrenal test, and they're just flatlined on their adrenals. And I'll say, or their food sensitivity.
Yes.
I say, go put this on your refrigerator.
Yes.
And you tell your family, there's a damn reason I don't feel good. I tried to tell you people,
yes.
I don't feel well. And there's proof right here. Now, I am a big believer in testing. And there's always controversies on all that too. A lot of people say, don't test, just treat them for things, in general. But I'm a big believer in test, don't guess.
No, I do.
And I've been doing this a long time, so I feel real confident with people saying, you've got adrenal issues and stuff. But I think it's nice for people to have it right in front of them.
Completely.
I am flatline. There's nothing here. I have no reserve. Yeah. Or, oh my gosh, I have, 5 band spots. I have alpha-gal.
Yes, and if you came in to Dani or I and you said, I have no energy, and we found Lyme, right?
Yes.
If we send you off or say, well, we want to check what your cortisol levels are or your thyroid levels, your body's fighting off an infection, but it helps in a step-by-step saying that, these are still low. Why? Because you're fighting off a bad infection. I like to do it too. I like to have patients come in and then I can go, it's going to take you a while to build this up. Don't lose heart. It's okay, but you got to kill this other stuff off for this to raise up. So getting intermittent testing, I'm all about it. I at first, when I first got into practice, because I do a lot of kinesiology and Chinese medicine testing, which I love to do. I don't do Chinese medicine. We do different forms of testing. However, I love both sides of it. I like to send things off, and when I can't find something within 3 to 4 visits, maybe 5, if something's not seeming right, I'm pretty positive certain things, I'll go, we need to get this extra test done. Yeah. And with Lyme, I don't mess around.
Yeah, we don't mess around with Lyme disease at all. So that's testing. But the basic common person can go to your provider and ask for an immunoblot.
Yes.
Ask for an immunoblot. Say, I want the big test. I want the 10-band test. I want an IgG and an IgM. Meet and greet. Remember that. And tell them. And if your provider will not do that for you, then you find a new provider.
I agree.
It's as simple as that.
When somebody
work for you, for crying out loud.
Exactly right. I hate to say it. One of my old mentors told me, he says, they're hired pay. If they don't want to do something for you.
I'm hired help.
If they just say, I'm not going to help you, do that. When they say it's only in the Northeast, I get a little worked up about it. Think about it. If you had a tick that bit a deer or any mammal that has Lyme, and somehow that tick got on a bird, just follow me out. This is crazy. A bird gets and migrates to another area of the world and jumps on you. Do you think not the bird, the tick from the bird somehow? I'm saying, can that be where that's not unfeasible, right? That's an actual thought. And this is the thing. There is hundreds of reports of people in different states. And now they're saying all over the world, there's some spirochetes that are named after in Japan. They find it everywhere.
Yes, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's just, don't be surprised if you find it. And we're here to help. That's what we're saying.
That's exactly right.
The 10 test.
That's right. And you find somebody who's going to help you. So how are you going to treat it? Once you get it, okay, so alpha-gal is a totally different thing, right? You treat that. You treat alpha-gal by removing mammal products.
Yep. You do.
Okay. But Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Okay. I mean, doxycycline is the gold standard, right? The CDC gold standard, and it still is the gold standard. 100 milligrams twice a day, right? Anywhere from 10 to 21 days. Mm-hmm. Now, they treated my mom just recently for 10 days. I think personally she needs more. My mom's never taken a probiotic a day in her life.
More,
I think she needs probably long-term, honestly, for me to be able to tell any difference at all cognitively, for sure. She hasn't complained of her joint pain, though, lately, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Right? Doxycycline, 100 milligrams a day. Now, there are other things, but doxycycline is that's usually the gold standard. Mm-hmm. In children, usually it's amoxicillin, but then also doxycycline could be used as well. Now, what do you do? Okay, there's also something called post-treatment Lyme disease syndrome, right? Mm-hmm. That lasts after the treatment, and it can last for years. Okay? Fatigue, pain, memory loss. Those are the cases that are way more difficult to treat. Some people get bit. They have a couple symptoms. They get treated with doxycycline, and that's it. They don't have a provider who looks at the gut and says, let's add in probiotics. Let's add in biocidin, some cat's claw, monolaurin, things we're going to talk about. They just get doxy and they do fine. They do fine. It kills them and it's done. I've had friends too. They're just completely fine.
Done after that.
But then many, up to 20% of the population, and I think it's probably more than that. Of course, the people we see, it's way more than 20%, right? Of the people continue to have symptoms even after treatment.
Yeah.
And there's where we have to dig deep into what's happening to you metabolically, what's happening to you, your detox pathways, what's your liver like, right?
Yes.
All those things.
All the things.
And then we get into things that you can use on top of your doxy. I mean, did you use any antibiotics or did you use all herbal?
I used all herbal.
Okay. And that's totally fine to do. Everyone is different.
Yeah.
If you want an antibiotic, I'm not going to poo-poo that at all.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not you and I don't know what works best for you. I'm a big fan. Now, he did it all naturally. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of combining the two.
Yeah. All the time I have patients that combine both.
Combine the both.
There's nothing wrong with antibiotics if you do it right. It's great.
Monolaurin. Now, so I took this stuff all out of Dr. Horowitz's book because I think he's the leader. And I didn't want to make up anything that I didn't want to go online and look at natural treatments for Lyme disease. This guy mentions everything that I've talking about in here. So, lauricidin, which is monolaurin, right? Medium chain triglycerides, these are actually from colostrum. Well, these are from coconut, but we were just discovered it in colostrum. Mother's milk in 1966 heals the gut, helps with Lyme disease, helps with those biofilms, helps build up the immune system in the gut, helps kill yeast. I love this. We keep this in the office. You can hear it. They're little bitty pellets.
Right. Monolaurin is so good. It'll kill off viruses.
It kills off viruses. I use it for my Epstein-Barr patients. I use it for cytomegalovirus. Any sort of candida, it'll help with candida. It's an amazing
Think of acid this way, like acid gets in your stomach and you'll eat off the coating, off these things, and the microbes, and then your immune system goes in and starts to attack it.
That's exactly right. Cat's claw. This is herbal stuff. Cat's claw, right? Garlic.
Yes.
Oregano. Artemisia. Okay, talk about that because I don't have it here. Dan used to use it always at the office. So
Artemisia is Artemisia. We would use it for patients, especially with high amounts of babesia. And Artemisia it has an anti-parasitic effect, but it also has also a very antimicrobial in the sense with spirochete and with Lyme. So Artemisia will go in and literally, it has such an immune, not even just a booster, but it will kill the infection. So I can't say it's terpenes. There are the quality of the products within the molecules within the plant actually go in and tear apart the infections. So you can get Artemisia, you can get yellow dock to build the iron, you can get Podiarco, you can get,
I got all that in there.
All of it.
What?
All those, like if you did, for instance, I use a company called Nature's Pharmacy LLC up in Wisconsin. My friend oh my goodness, he's going to kill me. Lindsley, Dr. Alan Lindsley is one of my buddies.
Oh my gosh.
And so he had Lyme really badly. And so he took these Podiarco and he made different like bone set. He put Japanese knotweed. He would put black walnut holes.
Oh, got it right here. Black walnuts and biocidin.
And he found, this is what he said, like Bonner, is how you say his name, who did Healing Lyme Disease or Treating Lyme Disease. He wrote the book. He said that if, like me and Dani will talk about single strands. There are some doctors who love to use single herbals. Yes. Like this.
No. This is a single herbal. Biocidin is a
mixture. Some people have that thought when they go, we'll do a single. But other people say, let's do a combo because it's a shotgun effect.
Yes. Well,
it works both ways.
Biocidin. So let me tell you about biocidin, people. There's nobody on planet Earth who couldn't benefit from biocidin.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just listening to a webinar where I was waiting for him. He was driving around Mac Hatcher trying to figure out where I was. I was listening to a webinar on biocidin, the lady who developed biocidin, and you can type in biocidin, BIOCIDIN, and Lyme disease. And you're going to have all these webinars pop up.
Yeah.
Biocidin kills everything. It's fascinating. Now, I use a ton of this for gut health, for Epstein-Barr, for parasites to raise your lipopolysaccharides in your gut, your LPS, all of that. Biocidin kills the biofilms. Now, clinical studies have shown this. So they talked about the clinical studies, the biofilms of the Lyme disease, right? And so what it does is good Lord, it kills the spirochetes and the biofilms. And Dr. Horowitz uses this with all of his patients. that I was studying. I read about it in here as well.
Biocidin.
Biocidin with all of his patients. Now he uses a ton of pharmaceuticals. So he combines everything with pharmaceuticals, and he uses a whole lot of pharmaceuticals, antibiotics. But biocidin is his go-to, along with their GI detox, which we use in GI detox. So oh my gosh, this stuff is amazing. So this company, this product has been around since the 1980s. They used it with AIDS patients. Initially, the research was on them to stop those T cells dropping and all. But GI detox is part of their protocol for Lyme. They have a whole Lyme protocol, biocidin does. You need to use these.
This is great.
This helps to bind. Once you start killing off these spirochetes in this Lyme, they get angry as angry could be. GI detox binds to those, helps pull them out.
Definitely.
Of your
it has
body.
zeolite and charcoal and silica and apple pectin. So basically the ingredients within just this is going to flush out the liver, it'll flush out the gut and your gallbladder, because pectin will literally clean up the gallbladder. This is another cool thing. You'll find spirochetes and babesia, especially if something can move very quickly. People that have Lyme infections will usually have gallbladder issues where they can't digest fats really well, like me in that instance. But they will get in the gallbladder and hide in the bile, because bile, right, is supposed to be nice and fluid within the gallbladder. It squeezes and pushes into your stomach to break up the fat. But when you get sick, you can dehydrate the gallbladder, and the gallbladder starts to harden the bile, and infections will get in there and burrow in, just like they burrow into your tissue. So they'll pop out. Like they have a little cave in the middle of your gallbladder. I'm not kidding. It sounds crazy. And they'll jump into that tube and they'll go into your stomach and they'll have a feast whenever you eat and they'll jump back in. So that stuff is
amazing. That stuff and it's not expensive. I mean, now biocidin is expensive. This is $60, but this booger will last you. There's everything in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that is used for your immune system. If you get sick in the wintertime, you build your immune system up with this.
Noni in it. Noni powder. It's really great. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it has everything in it that you need. It's got the garlic. It's got the oregano. It's got the black walnut. It's got lavender in it. It's got all kinds of things in it. That works great. So essential oils. There was a 2017 study that looked at 34 essential oils to kill Lyme disease in a laboratory setting. Cinnamon bark, clove bud, oregano, all killed Lyme disease. Okay. Thieves, and probably On Guard from doTERRA. I use Young Living, but probably On Guard. And what else did you say?
TerraShield.
TerraShield. Okay.
Shield.
What else do you use? So DesBio has a Lyme protocol.
Yes.
I know that Dr. Kalb uses that, and they're herbal medicine. They're homeopathy.
They'll use like a detox 1, 2, 3, and it will clean out. If you get the protocol, they'll use some that will clean out like the fascial system and the organ system, along with the Borrelia. They have a Babesia and they have a Bartonella, I believe. And I will say this: we both work with homeopathics.
Mm-hmm.
I love homeopathics. Truly do.
He knows them way better than I do. I don't know them.
They work very well with DesBio. I'm just saying. But guys, we both state that if you find somebody's body type or body system that can work well with an antibiotic, with supplements, or somebody who just wants to use homeopathics, we are not trying to.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's whatever works best for you and whatever's going to kill the infection.
Exactly right. And I'll say this: I've had patients that do a medication. They'll do doxycycline. And then their doc will give them amoxicillin, and they'll change up, and then they go, well, and these are integrative folks, and they'll say, well, I want to do a little bit of homeopathic or a series of homeopathics to get rid of like Babesia. And then all of a sudden they show Epstein-Barr, because Epstein-Barr can infect areas that the Babesia was in. It's a road, but these people do get better, and you can get better from this. And
well, of course, absolutely you can. A spore-based probiotic, which is, of course, I love Megaspore, and those of y'all that know me know I do. There's been a lot of studies on spore-based probiotics with Lyme disease or any of your co-infections, and helping heal that gut and get your immune system built back up.
Exactly, and I love their Bacillus subtilis product. It's really good.
You bet.
It is so good. And
yeah, it's in there.
I've been doing this though with my Lyme patients and folks. When me and Dani talk about probiotics, and even if you're taking an antibiotic,
yep,
I have found such good results by if you do get a biome test, but I do it in a certain way where I will check certain types of bacteria. And that product is so good, the Megaspore. And
you bet.
They have different forms, and I will put patients on that sometimes on its own for 2 weeks with Lyme. And I mean, like 40 to 50% of their symptoms go away just because you put them on.
I'm going to tell you, I've never used a better probiotic. Karan, who owns this company, I've known him now for many years, and he kept, well, not many years, 5 years, I don't know. He came here to the office and did a lunch and learn. So we have a video on our Inside Out Healing from Within page of Karan here. He's brilliant. In fact, you don't know this. The medical director of Megasport is going to be doing our Sunday night service.
No way.
She's going to be talking about all of their products.
You better listen in.
And so awesome. one of those Sundays that you're not going to be here, they have agreed to be here and do this. So they're going to be on. So that's going to be awesome because they make some of the best products I've ever used. He's brilliant. I mean, he's a microbiologist, and he's the one. They're doing the very first annual, and you can come out there if you want, Huntington Beach Microbiome Conference. It's in September, and we're flying out. The two of us from the office are going out to the conference, so you're welcome to come.
It is just amazing when you study microbiome.
The microbiome.
How synergistic and the symbiosis like between you and a bacteria can work.
We are 90% bacteria. Do you know that an earthworm we discovered through the Human Microbiome Project, an earthworm has more DNA than we do. Wow. We are bacteria. We are 90% bacteria. Wow.
I love learning this stuff.
This is cool stuff.
This is stuff I go home and learn and write about.
I know, me too. Okay, so herbal stuff, homeopathy, antibiotics, right? Things like doxycycline, and there's other antibiotics as well. Hyperbaric oxygen chamber, big deal for Lyme because hyperbaric oxygen chamber, is 100% oxygen. Things die out when they are exposed to hyperbaric chambers.
And oxygen acts as though, like, if you have oxygen, your body naturally produces oxygen in the form of hydrogen peroxide or nitric oxide. Yes. So your body will produce oxygen to make them act as pinballs. So you get an infection in the body will create oxygen, and then oxygen flings out and starts tearing these things apart. Then you have a die-off. So when you put oxygen, like at Dr. Kalb's office, right?
He has the only hard chamber in this area.
Exactly
so,
right.
Oh my gosh, when I worked there.
2 things. That's right. You kill off the infection and you feed your cells oxygen.
Yes.
You need both.
Yes. Oh, it's amazing. Hyperbaric chamber. IV chelation. Big deal, chelation is. Did you go through chelation therapy?
I did a couple times with chelation therapy, and I really liked it. And I'd say that I did.
Tell them what chelation does.
Chelation, you can put different types of fluids within the body, and chelation is the act of chelating, to actually pulling toxins and the nasty things within your blood. So if you have a die-off, if Dani got you to get a antibiotic, or I gave you an herbal, and it starts to die off, you have all these things floating around your blood, and it's too heavy. Like the biocide, it's too heavy for your filter.
You're having a Herxheimer reaction. So that's what happens whenever you start to have a die-off. Many people have something called a Herxheimer reaction. Yeah. It's not deadly, but people think they might just die from it because you get all this, everything's dying off. It can be from Lyme disease. It could be from multiple things. You can have a Herxheimer reaction from.
And it's the hardest thing is like when you're treating Lyme, and we want you to be encouraged, is that if we see someone with Lyme, they could kill that off, and all of a sudden they don't feel great, and all of a sudden the body goes, well, now I have enough energy to show you that I have Epstein-Barr, so let's kill that off. And people will go through and they're like, I feel horrible.
Yes.
A little bit of journey, a little bit of process.
Yes.
But you get through it. And real quick question, they said, one lady says, I'm allergic to biocide. Well, many times though, like some of the herbals may be a little bit too hard for you. You do find that, and that's why you have to have different testing or try different probiotics and antibiotics too.
Right. Yeah. So IV chelation, I don't do that. Dan Kalb doesn't do that, but Dr. Michael Bernoulli does in Middle Tennessee. Oh, Bernoulli. So I refer people to Bernoulli and Dr. Kalb. Yes. Those are the two. And it depends but he doesn't do IV chelation there. Now, Dr. Kalb does do ultraviolet light.
Dr. Kalb, but Bernoulli doesn't do that either?
Well, he may do it. I don't know if he does it, but I know that Dr. Kalb does.
I think Bernoulli does do it.
Does he? Mm-hmm. So the ultraviolet light. Okay, so I need to add that onto my list because I didn't know that.
So great. They pass your blood through ultraviolet rays, and it cleans your blood and it circulates back into your body. It's like,
and you sit there with this IV, and your veins are lit up with this ultraviolet light. It's crazy.
I love this kind of stuff. I love those technology. It's ultraviolet. Like you're out in the sun, it's killing it off.
Yeah, so it'll kill it.
Yep.
And then saunas and steam rooms. Now, we have a sauna upstairs here. I have a relaxed infrared sauna far infrared sauna that is phenomenal. And we sell them and all those great things and all that. But I want to tell you right now, if anybody tells you that one sauna is better than the other, they're full of shit. I mean, and that's just as plain as it is. Sweating is sweating.
Yeah.
And I will go up against anybody who says anything different. I mean, I love far infrared. I love infrared. I just love to be outside and sweat. Sweating outside like I did this weekend at home with not helping my mom, just doing the stuff, or going upstairs and sitting in that sauna. It's sweating is sweating, and you're getting out toxins, and you're killing it. Yes. Am I right?
Yes. Like, and you'll find that when you do infrared, you ever find this? Like, patients will go into an infrared, and some of them go, well, I was in there, and I didn't sweat that much. And then the next time they go, they'll sweat a ton.
Yes. Yes.
Why? Your body knows when it's supposed to release toxins.
That's exactly right.
Way or not. So
that's right.
I have one at my house, and so I go there, and I'll have sometimes my little cup of organic coffee, and I'll sit there on my my little iPad, and I'm like, trying to get stuff done, ready for the day, and I'm just sitting there and just letting infrared. And I'm telling you, some days I will sweat a lot.
Yeah.
And other days I'm like, I don't sweat that much.
Yeah.
So I love it. So
but
infrared works so well.
So I'm a fan of a sauna, and here's why. Because as a rule, we don't sweat all the time, every day. You know, I mean, we don't. We're not like wringing sweat. When you're in a sauna, you're sweating like a pig. I mean, a pig, not pretty. I mean, pigs are.
I call it glistening.
Oh, well, glistening, whatever. I'm from Western Kentucky. It's sweating like a pig, and it is like solid sweat. I mean, my hair, everything. So just sweat. Whether you're sitting in the YMCA sauna. I mean, people always say, oh, it's so toxic, and it's, whatever. Just sweat. Just sweat.
Just sweat it out. And it really is true. It's like you had to find out all the ways to get the toxins out. So we talked about ultraviolet. Talked about sauna. We talked about chelation.
Hyperbaric chamber.
Hyperbaric chamber.
Homeopathy.
Oh, they're all great ways, guys, and not one size fits all.
No.
We're trying to give you the info to follow through and see if any of these work for you, though.
But I hit things with a shotgun approach. People know that about me. I like, let's just hit it all. Yep. If you're going to do it, and if you're going to spend this money, let's just hit it all.
Exactly.
Let's get you well.
Yep.
There was a 2015 study on stevia for Lyme disease. Did you know about this?
Yes.
I didn't. Okay, sure. Okay, so not the processed kind of stevia, not the bags of stevia you get at Kroger and Whole Foods and all that, but the alcohol tincture blend
of stevia.
Okay, I don't know anything about
I knew this, guys.
How did you know this?
I did not know anything about stevia.
He didn't know I was going to say this, actually.
I had a friend. And
I found this when I was researching.
And we were doing stevia, and one of my friends was in Austin, Texas, and he treats a ton of infections. He helped me with my parasitic infections. Well, he gave me a bottle of liquid stevia without a label. He goes, oh, try this. And I said, you want me to use sweetener? And he goes, just try it. And I tried it, and sure enough, I could feel it, like the changes in my legs, because that's where a lot of the parasitic infections. Shoot forward. Now what's that one company now? But they do a liquid stevia, and I had another friend of mine do some acupuncture point testing and said you need stevia, high amounts, and it killed a lot of the babesia. It was amazing, yeah. And it's
stevia.
Think about it. Every plant on God's green earth, like, is meant for something.
You bet it is.
It really is.
You bet it is. That was a great lead into CBD.
Oh, my word. Look, I'm the great leading guy.
Literally, we had no idea. No, it's gone. All the wine is gone. That was a real heavy pour.
It's okay. No, it's good.
It's a good thing I'm not a bartender, because I would use up all the people, all the owners' profits. All the plants that God put on this earth are good for something, right? CBD. I don't know what the research shows, but there are over 500 studies going on right now on the use of cannabis, right? And the endocannabinoid system and all that. So I don't know. I don't know about it. It won't hurt you with the Lyme disease. No. May help you, may not, but it's certainly not going to hurt you. It definitely helps with joint pain, anxiety,
sleep,
insomnia. That's right. Sleep, migraine headaches, all the things. I mean, it's phenomenal. But yeah, we have the new 1500 milligram. I know. I know. It's amazing. And so I had a girl here today, because we work 7 days a week. around here. So I had a girl come in today, and I put this 1,000 milligram on her knees here in the office, and her pain was gone.
Oh, my word.
Pain was gone. This is the salve here. But again, I don't know so much about that for Lyme disease, but it certainly will help you with the anxiety and the sleep and the joint pain that comes with the tick-borne illness.
I mean, if it increases your cannabinoid system, I have patients.
Bet.
It actually creates the effect on your cells to absorb more of your nutrients. So even if you're taking an antibiotic, or you're taking an herbal, or you're taking anything like a vitamin or mineral, you increase your cells' capability to absorb more nutrients and fight off the infection. And I have a lot of patients that come in that I do CBD on them, and they literally will not have a hurt, but they'll feel it, like they know they've killed stuff off.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good. And you just gotta, and remember, we have Earth's Glory. There's people that use Charlotte's Web. There's people that use so many different types.
There's a
CBD.
So you have to be so careful. You need to know your farmer. There's a lot of snake oil out there, and it is the wild, wild west when it comes to CBD in the United States, for sure. Now, Walgreens and CVS, Whole Foods has CBD.
Yeah.
Ella sent me a picture the other day of they were unloading the CBD shipment.
There's
and I don't know, it may be
right
excellent, but I know what I use, and I know it's excellent. And I know Charlotte's Web is good too, because I mean, I know they're good. They're mass produced, but I think they're still good, right?
And I think it's just true. It's like you find.
I think you have to find what works for you, because Earth's Glory, I think they're the best.
Oh, they're great.
But there's many other companies out there, right? But know your farmer, and know that there's no pesticides. Know that it's third party tested. Know that it is CO2 critically extracted. All those things. I mean, we've got a whole CBD talk. We don't have to worry about that. But anyway, so you're going to check yourself for ticks, right? You're going to, where do ticks hide? The neck, the armpits, behind the knees, the groin area, anything below the belt, the testicles, the vagina, all those things. They get in there. They love dark, moist places.
They do.
Right?
It's like it's easy. It's like the skin is softer. They get more blood flow, and so they like those areas. So
that's
when
exactly
you go in
right.
the woods, check yourself extensively.
Don't pull it. Don't jerk it off there.
I'm not even going to say a word because I know what you're going to say. Anyway.
Don't just.
I'm going to keep reading these right now.
I'm all tickled over here. Don't pour alcohol or light it. Light it with a match. Don't do any of that, because it's going to make it angry.
Okay. Don't use a match. You can use some essential oils, maybe some peppermint. This is a child. You keep reshooting the video, but we're alive right now.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I don't know. I don't have any idea. I forgot my estrogen. That's what happened to me today. I'm hot flashing, and I can't even think. Holy cow. Anyway, so we have part 1, part 2. Guys, we love you. But listen, I got an air fryer. You all know this. Louise Sterling sent me an air fryer for free. What? I reached out to them, and they said, yeah, you got a tribe. I said, well, I don't have like 100,000 people, but I got a few thousand, and they're pretty loyal. Unbelievable. But I got this really cool. I'm not paleo, for crying out loud. You people know I'm a Mediterranean diet person. That's what I love. But I'm not against paleo. But it's not what I normally do. But I got a paleo air fryer cookbook.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow, you're going to have to come over.
Yeah.
He doesn't know about air frying.
I didn't know about
He didn't know you could fry eggs. You could boil eggs with air. What the heck? What does that mean? Boiled eggs with air. So you guys, I'll be sharing more of that. But I'll do more of that on Instagram. So you need to get over there on Instagram. What's going on with you?
We've had, we've got this next week we're doing more on busy week. And we're doing Instagram posts about cell regrowth and about the perception and belief, and how perception and belief helps the cells to grow. You bet. And we talked about stress and cortisol levels. So we're doing that. I've been doing more acupuncture, and man, we're doing a lot of stuff at the office. It's exciting. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, just check us out on Instagram, Dr. Motley. Dr. Motley, Dani Williamson Wellness. We have all kinds of stuff going on here too as well. Got a new employee, which is great. We needed somebody. I've got my people, but I needed an extra person, so she's going to start here in about 2 weeks. I'm really excited for her. So hopefully we need one more person. I need a really amazing health coach.
I would love to have a functional medicine dietitian in here.
Wow.
So if any
Get
of
the
you
word out,
are a
guys.
functional medicine dietitian, come here because, or let me know, because I would love to have somebody here. So
Get the word out. Let's
Yeah.
see it. They'll have
All
it
right.
happen.
So we don't know what next Sunday's going to be about yet, because are you going to be here next Sunday?
I can't be next Sunday. I was looking
Okay.
at my schedule for you. I've got to go to a methylation seminar. I've got to be there for that. So I'm learning an advanced methylation, but I got to check for the next 2 weeks after that. We'll see.
Okay. So I'll let you guys know. I think maybe next week we'll have the microbiome people here. That's what I'm going to try to do, is get the chief scientific officer here in place of him. Nobody's as smart as him, but we'll try to make it work. All right, guys. Sorry we were late tonight. Have a fabulous weekend. Remember, meal prep. All right, meal prep. Take your lunch to work tomorrow. You cheat when you're not prepared.
I like your sayings.
Right?
You cheat when you're not prepared.
And you don't cheat with salmon and broccoli. I can guarantee you that.
That's
You
right.
cheat with whatever it is that you're craving, and that's usually something that your body hates. So, meal prep. I'm going to go home and cook some chicken wings in my air fryer because I'm fascinated with this cookbook. So I'm going to be eating chicken wings probably at 10 o'clock tonight, which is not healthy. But anyway, all right, guys, we'll see you next week. We love you. Appreciate you. Watch part 1 of Lyme disease and then part 2, and you're going to be taken care of.
Bye, guys.
We love you.
It's going to be click, and then we'll do another click, and then we'll see
Click.
it. Here we go.
Woo!
And one more in.